LA has been very, very good to me, but it's changed so much.
Where'd you live in LA?
You know, it's not the place that I was there. It's like I don't feel like an exchange of ideas. It's just being politically correct all the time, and it's kind of like a lot of fear. I kind of feel there, and that's why I moved to Nashville, because get back into the center of the country and just feel more at home there.
Nashville?
Yeah.
I used to live in right outside of Nashville when I was in the Army, Clarksville, you know, the 101st Airborne Division. And I used to go to Nashville and I used to go learn how to dance at Silverados. They've never met a 6'4" Middle Eastern trying to dance country. It was a spectacle. I'd go, they had hard body contests, but I would learn how to do their thing and walk around, and it was, everyone was confused. It was fantastic. You know what's the great thing?
Were you wearing a flannel shirt?
I had no choice, but many times I wasn't even wearing a shirt. That's how great of a club the Silverados was. But you know what's the good news? You don't know if I'm telling the truth or not because there was no Instagram back in the days. It could be deep fake, right, as what it could be. But let me go back to it. I asked the question, I don't know if, maybe for my own stubborn curiosity side, I want to know what causes Hollywood to be left. You're around these guys. You've been around them for 49 years. After you do a movie, you don't have a choice but go have dinner or lunch or talk or play cards or whatever you guys do together, right? What do you see as the common trend that makes all them be on the, most of them be on the left?
I really kind of see it as everything is turned upside down. You know, like, forget about the left and right and conservative, Republican and Democrat. It used to be, you know, in Hollywood was to, you know, be a rebel, to be, you know, somebody on like an outsider, you know, not the establishment. And that's what was going on. It was why it was so exciting, like in the 70s and everything. And that slowly turned now, like to the other side. You know, now that to be left is to be basically the status quo and to be politically correct. And, you know, I kind of feel like even the Republican Party has kind of become the party of, like, the common man. You know, it used to be the Republican Party was the party of, you know, the rich fat cats or whatever. And that's, now it's, you know, the corporations are with the Democrats and the regular people are with the Republicans.
Would you say, I'm not looking for names, I'm just wondering what you'd say. Would you say there are more big players behind closed doors that talk to each other but never want to reveal their cards of where they're at politically to the public, where you guys talk and you respect each other's privacy because as professionals you've been around for a while?
Especially during COVID, it was like the first time I'd ever experienced that with, you know, people that I work, you know, in agencies and publicists and studios. You know, they were telling me, like, don't say anything about the, you know, about politics or the way you feel, or, you know, because, you know, you could lose your job or whatever with that, or you're going to lose half your audience. At least that was the subliminal message on it. But then I see so many actors, you know, going on a late night talk show or whatever. As long as you were talking to, you know, about Biden or whatever, or endorsing a Democrat, you know, you were fine. But if you were endorsing a Republican or Trump, you were, you know, they don't even want you.
I remember Vince Vaughn.
What's with that? We got to be able to talk with each other,
but
right?
I'm wondering from you, why is that though? Who are they afraid of? Who is at the top that scares the crap out of everybody?
Well, why did Republicans take it for so long? You know, we kind of, you can't let people take that away from you. It's our right as Americans to be able to have a conversation.
What should Republicans do? If you're saying
speak up. Don't be afraid to speak up just because it's awkward. That's what I say.
You mean Republican actors?
Or conservative, or if you're just even if you're a Democrat, don't be afraid to speak up if you're in a room full of Republicans. We need to start talking and arguing with each other about the issues and what's important so that we can come to some sort of agreement eventually. We pass each other on the street all the time, but once we find out that somebody's on the other side, we put a label on them, and we have to start remembering that we're Americans, and it's okay to make fun of each other. It's okay to talk. It's it's the only way we're going to get back to what it used to be.
Yeah, that reminds me of the scene, Tip O'Neill, when they're seeing each other. I read a book by Chris Matthews about Tip and I, or Tip and the Gipper, or something like that, where he talks about the relationship between Tip O'Neill and Reagan, and he says, hey, one thing you got to know about me, we can fight all we want until 6, but after 6 o'clock, we're out 2 Irishmen. Let's go grab a beer, right? Like, is that what you're talking about? Kind of
that's
go
what
back
I'm talking about. And they really had that. They really had that relationship. Yeah, Tip O'Neill would come over to the White House sometimes several times a week, and to talk about legislation or just to get to know each other as people at the same time. And the truth is, Republicans and Democrats, they need each other. And they really do. They keep each other from going too far one way or the other, because, in the end, that's what will happen. And I know George Washington didn't want political parties, in fact. But you got to be for this and there's or for that, and so that's what political parties, function as. But we do need each other. We need to have some real exchange, I think. Back then, here's another big difference about back then, is you had liberal Republicans and you had conservative Democrats. And now it's just black and white. So it's...
Wow, it's interesting what you just said. Can you say that one more time?
Yeah, you had liberal Republicans and you had conservative Democrats.
Can you tell us what that looked like for some of us that maybe didn't know?
Well, a lot of it was, you had a lot of the South, you had a lot of Democrats down there, which are now like red states. And it's because that's the way the American people are. The American people as a whole are near the center. And so there's and the parties, there was hardly really much difference between the two, I think. And it made it work. I think it worked a lot better than it's doing now. Now you got to just be on this side or that, and nothing gets done.
In these uncertain times, if there's anything we need people to believe the future looks bright. So if you've heard about me saying this mission to you, we're on a mission to get 1 million people to wear this gear, and this is what we're doing. If you buy one of these hats, there's a category of buying one hat, getting the second one free. If you haven't yet worn this gear publicly, go ahead and test it out. Buy some of the gear, wear it in public, and see how many people will stop by and say, you also watch Valuetainment? You also follow PBD Podcast? I do too. Place your order. Go to vtmerch.com, click on the link above or below, place your order, and represent the VT and the PBD Podcast gear.